Let's talk about the Diaspora Wars from a base level, y'all. Like from an everyday, just everyday black person in America base level. Let me start off real quick with this though.
Without disregarding or undermining that we are brothers and sisters, same DNA, same blood, we were just separated by birth. That's my ideology. But I believe that what really brought in that separation was a lot of us came in this country as immigrants, thinking and hoping that we would be embraced, loved, help, guided by our fellow African American brothers and sisters. But it was the complete opposite. The bullying, the name calling, the just picking, even physical assaults actually came from African Americans. Many people were shared the same sentiments with me. It never came from any other race, nationality, or any kind of group. It came mainly from our brothers and sisters, and that is a wound that has been very deep rooted, and I don't think it has healed yet. So from your perspective, whether you are African or African American, what do you think the issue stems from? And what do you guys think we can do to build this bridge again? Comment.
It's important that you guys know, and this is probably the case for a lot of people, not just black people, but I have family members that are African, from Africa. I have friends that are so many friends from Africa. It's not. Now, granted, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're from like one of three different countries, but they are from the continent of Africa. Born there, at least partially raised there. Cool, whatever. I don't want that to sound like I can't be racist. I got friends that are black. You know what I mean? That kind of weird. I don't want it to sound like that. What I want you guys to understand is that what I'm about to say, I don't want it. First of all, this whole discussion about Diaspora Wars sounds divisive anyway. But I want you guys to understand that if it does sound divisive, I don't intend for it to sound divisive, because I have people that I care about that are from Africa. You get what I'm saying? So, like, my niece is half African. Like, my sister is married to an African man, right? My experience around with African people has always been good. I've never had a bad experience. The only experiences that I had that were negative with Africans, I would say, would be, back in middle school, where, some stuff would happen and I would have to make sure that I had my Nigerian friends, I had to have it back, because kids at school had like I brought up last time, it was that African booty scratch era. It was before everybody and their mama decided they don't want to listen to Afro beats and all that. A lot of y'all was the same kids that were, targeting my Nigerian, Liberian, and Ghanaian friends, right? So I'm just throwing it out there, right? And everybody's not perfect, and we didn't know what we didn't know. It just was what it was. We were kids, right? I knew it was wrong because, to be honest, bro, it felt wrong. It was weird to see people make fun of people that look like me, right? Cool. Boom. I want to throw it out there. That is my experience with it. What I have heard in the Diaspora War, what I've been seeing, and I'm in California. That's another thing. I'm in California, y'all. California. I'm not in Texas. I'm not in Louisiana. I'm not in the Midwest. I'm not in the East Coast. I'm in California. So, right off the bat, it's not like people think it's diverse. Like, it's not that diverse. If you have African friends in California, your friends are Nigerian, Liberian, Ethiopian, maybe Eritrean, Ghanaian. That's probably it for the most part. If you are that one guy that's like, no, I got a friend from Botswana. Cool. Anyway, that's how it goes. Like, this is kind of a follow up from the Amanda Seales discussion. The Diaspora War is annoying because anybody who speaks on it is only a small part of it, right? Like the Diaspora War, the diaspora issues in Brazil are one thing. The Diaspora War in Central America is another thing. The Diaspora War in Mexico is another thing. Somebody make a comment too, and I'll touch on that in a second. What I want to make sure that people know is that the Diaspora War, like, that's going on, it's weird calling it a war, but this is what everybody's calling it, so I'm going to go off of it, right? That this particular issue is, in America, is the only one I know about, right? Only one that I understand and fully, like that I understand to be an issue because I've seen it. I have proof, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world. But I'm going to say this. I want to bring up the fact that, again, it sounds divisive talking about it. A lot of people commented on the video. I got a lot of comments from people on Facebook, so on and so forth. and they believe that it's very divisive and it's like bringing division, right? It's bringing division, and I want you guys to understand that we have to be able to have these talks. I'm not sure how many of you guys are married, but if you are in long-term relationships or have been in some, do you remember having discussions with your significant other about stuff that you didn't want to talk about because you knew you were going to argue about it, but you have to talk about it? You and your significant other, maybe they might have said something messed up to you and you felt a certain way about it, but you know what I'm saying? Like it has to be something that we talk about. It has to be. We're all we're different backgrounds. We're all black, right? We're all black. In terms of color, we're all black. We're not even on one accord on anything else. Like, for example, I've had people on comments on social media where they are literally forcing, other members of the diaspora to say, "Hey, you're black." You're like the whole discussion with there's a singer from what is she from, South Africa? And they were trying to get her to just rep that she was black. In America, you are black. This is what we'll call you. That's what you have to tick off on the consensus or whatever. You have to check that off on when they send out the census or whatever it's called. Y'all correct me in the comments. You got all these different options. There's never enough because America's extremely diverse, right? So you have all that going on. They're trying to tell, no, you black. You trying to stop. You have to jump into where she's from. Do research on where she comes from, and look at how people represent themselves there. Look at Trevor Noah. Look at other South African people that you know, like famous people. Learn about the caste system. Learn about how these are all things that I'm not an educator by any stretch of the imagination. I know some things just like you know some things, right? And I had to take time to really understand. This is a long time ago. This is during the apartheid. When there's a movie that came out that really had a lot to do with apartheid. There was a whole story on it. I can't remember the name of it, but if y'all are millennials, you guys saw it as a kid, more than likely if you're black, right? And if you didn't, it's because your parents is too young. It is what it is. But again, go back and do research and learn about how different amounts of admixture and different amounts of white or black, whatever you want to call it, Dutch, whatever you want to call it, that mixture changes things in South Africa. And remember, South Africa is its own country. You know how we do things different in America, our own country? Think about that same thing in South Africa. It's its own country. You could dive into the history of it and really learn some stuff and learn why things are discussed a certain way, why they go about things a certain way. You can learn, you can learn a lot about it. So I say that to say, just to dead the whole color discussion and black. When I say black in this context right now, I'm talking to I'm assuming you guys are mostly Americans, right? And you understand that when I say black, I'm talking about people black or of African descent, some way, shape, or form. I don't care if you live in Bermuda, like if you're black. So let's reverse it. This discussion has to be had, and I think the reason why people aren't having the discussion is because people are scared that it sounds divisive. Yeah, it sounds divisive because if I have an opinion and you don't agree with the opinion, then it's going to sound divisive. It is. I don't think there's a way around it. Get these dreads out the way. Get out the way. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to make it sound like it's not divisive. You get what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. That's just life. Now we got to have it though. We feel, as black people in America, a lot of the time, this is what I'm seeing, we feel like we're looked down upon, right? We feel like they don't have our backs. We feel like they look at us like we should be more advanced than we are now, like we let them down, right? And I think in return, we look at them like, first of all, the undertone is like, hey, that's cool and all, but why y'all didn't come back and get us? I was seeing somebody's video on Instagram. Why didn't y'all come back and get us? Why didn't you guys could have done more you know what I'm saying? I think there's that. And I've seen that. I think wondering why you don't come to America and assimilate and be like one of us, right? And I think the reality is that we get race and culture mixed up. When they come here to this country, they're black, right? They don't consider themselves black per se. And I ain't gonna lie, some of them do. A lot of my friends do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends do. My Liberian friends have a different history, though, because that is a country of freed slaves. Not only, but large majority of freed slaves, right? So that's a whole different history. But I got a lot of friends from different parts of Africa where they consider themselves black. Some of them do not. And it's not because they dislike black people. Some of them, not all of them, some of them feel like, well, you guys don't treat us like we're black, so I don't feel that way. And I think, and that's cool. Neither one of these ways are wrong or right. It's how somebody perceives something, right? Unless I grow up in another country, I don't know fully how they look at things. Here's what I would say. When you come to America, you're forced to be black. Imagine leaving from somewhere like Nigeria, getting here, and then being told, hey, you're black now. It would feel like to me, if it was me, little old me, and whole me, nah, a little me though, like just me as just whatever. It would feel like, hey, are you stripping me of who I am? Because when we were taken from Africa, we were told we were something totally different, right? I can't use the word, but there's 100,000 words for it though, right? So that's where you get black, that's where you get Negro, and so on and so forth. A lot of other words, right, that are used to describe black people. So we were taken from whatever country in Africa, the whole continent, right? We had a couple specific countries that we were taken from, but you get what I'm saying, right? We were taken from there, and we were Senegalese. We weren't people from Benin, right? We weren't Nigerian. We weren't Ghanaian. We weren't, you know what I'm saying, all these different, like we weren't any of that. We weren't from the Ivory Coast. We were Negroes that they took from another country. You get what I'm saying? And we came here, and that was the first way that our culture was stripped from us. One of the first ways, right? So imagine you get here, and they go, hey, when you get here, you're what we named you when you got here when you were slaves. They may or may not want to identify as that. But I think that, just a thought, I think that Africans, I think what it is, they might be like, okay, this is part of a bigger thing though. I'm not just black, but I understand that black has power to it. It has culture. It has pride. It has a style of food, a style of dancing, a style of music. The majority of the culture here is positioned on the shoulders of blacks. And I think with that, I think that might be, you know what I'm saying, I think that might be where that comes from. I think that might be because we're proud to be black, right? And I think they realize it's a good thing. Now, there are some, again, if you come from another country, you're proud of your country you come from. You might want to say, you might be like, no, I'm black as my skin is black, like, in a sense, like, I look like you, right? I look like you, but I am Ghanaian. I'm Nigerian. Like you wish you could just click that on the census. But when you come here to America and you get your citizenship and decide, and you are now an American citizen, you almost have to say I'm African American or I'm black without Latino, without Hispanic, without being Latino or Hispanic. I think that's what you have to, on the census, you have to check in or whatever. But yeah, so I think that's tough, man. I do. I personally do. When I really thought about it, a lot of this stuff takes thought. You know, I don't have, like, I can immediately be like, I don't like something because X, Y, and Z. And I can just blurt it out and say some BS, whatever, right? Or I can take some time and think about it. You know, I thought about my opinion. This don't feel like bullshit. It feels like just my opinion or whatever, and I stand behind it. I know that it's tough. You know what I'm saying? I know that this whole discussion is tough. And I know that it seems like we're trying to divide each other up and make each other feel like we're different and all that. But I'm going to keep it a buck with you. We are. I'm going to keep it so for real with you. And when I say we're different, I mean we have a different background. We have a different way we look at stuff because of where we come from. We are one people, but we're different in that. Imagine you're born, right? And a lot of y'all have probably experiences, right? You're born, you have a sister, or you have a brother, right? Same dad, different moms. You guys were born two different hospitals, two different times, let's just say. Same father. The father got one girl pregnant, then a year later got the other person pregnant. Y'all grew up in two different sides of town. You guys have different experiences. More than likely the same last name, and you look similar, right? But you guys have different ways of looking at stuff because you guys have different experiences and different, you get what I'm saying? So you guys are not the same in that you have the same, like, understanding of the world. You guys are the same. You guys are roughly the same when it comes to, I guess, race, right? If you want to say black, in a sense. But really the main thing is the blood that flows through our veins. That's the thing that makes us the same. It's literally the blood that flows through our veins. Because it ain't nothing else. It ain't nothing else. So just think about that, bro. Like, when y'all are kind of processing this whole, like, race relations and issues in the diaspora, Think about that. Like, really think about that, because that is a pain point. That's really a thing that's happening. That's really an issue we have in our culture. You know what I'm saying? It's really a problem that we're working through. So I want you guys to be like understanding of that. You know what I'm saying? And also understand that we could talk about this, we could speak about this in an intelligent manner, and it does not have to be an argument. It does not have to be an argument. This could be a regular ass discussion. It don't need to be an argument or nothing like that. My bad, I'm pulling into one of these dirt roads. My bad. Ooh. 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 Yeah. So I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. I just wanted to put that in your ear and see how that hit you. See if it make you think about something different. I'm gonna holler at you.